Welcome. Welcome to the Stoop. This is 501 Stoop.
This is the Stoop.
We couldn't quite make it to the park today.
Couldn't make it to the park. This part of the channel we envisioned a while back, but we never really acted on it. But it's supposed to sort of be a mini video cast, one topic,
Just a quick analysis.
20 minutes or less, ideally in the 15 range. But you know, editing's a thing.
Shoot over.
Sometimes we shoot. Editing's a fickle thing.
Yeah. Tonight we're actually we're feeling the squeeze from the battery life.
Yeah, the battery's about to die. So let's jump right in.
We're gonna let's jump
right in.
That's it. Healthcare.
Healthcare.
Now, I wanted to look this up, but I didn't.
Classic.
As the island of our knowledge grows, so do the shores of our ignorance. So that's just what I'm feeling right now. It's just completely overwhelmed by this. It's like, it feels like no matter how much research I could do, I could never really understand what's going on. And I feel the most pronounced with this particular thing.
With healthcare in particular?
Yeah, I just want to come out and say that. Like, I'm not an expert by any standards. And I don't know if anyone really can put your
finger.
Yeah, there's nowhere to put your finger really. There's so many problems, so many good things, so many things. Yeah, it's complex. But with that being said, let's jump into it. I think the biggest problem is it's just so expensive. I'm following the money.
Cost, you follow the money as per usual. Cost is huge. I mean, if we're talking the United States, cost is huge. It seems like it's true, but it seems like other countries somehow have the cost figured out in a way. Maybe it's
much better.
Maybe it's taxes. Maybe it's
cutting the services too.
Right, cutting other services, make healthcare the priority as opposed to all of these other things that are band-aids on the fact that there is no healthcare.
Right.
Perhaps. I mean, you know, the point of this, the channel, topics in general, not necessarily to find the solution, but to ask the right questions.
Get the ball rolling.
Ask good questions. Yeah, you know, think about it in different ways. Try to break out of the, I'm a liberal, I want to help people, or I'm a conservative, I want to save my money, and I want, high taxes. Like, there's more than one way to look at it. It's not binary. Is it a right? Is it a privilege?
I think that's a great place to start. So I was thinking about
it's one of the big pieces.
And I think the issue is that we call healthcare we're lumping it all together. It's like we're counting cancer treatment the same as
the common
people
cold.
have common cold, people who've been smoking for 50 years and now they have lung cancer, which is the same as emergencies. It's like if I have an emergency, is that the same kind? Should we be treating that the same way as if I'm an alcoholic and now I have pancreatic cancer?
Right.
So when I was thinking about this, it was we guarantee the cops will show up if you're in an emergency. We guarantee the fire department will show up if you're in an emergency. Shouldn't it be the same for healthcare? At the very least, can we all agree that emergencies should be covered?
Yeah.
I think that's maybe not everything should be covered, but at least emergencies.
But then you get into the thing what about the person who's been, purposefully negligent for many years, and the emergency is just a buildup of their ways, Is it really an emergency? It's a predicted emergency almost. But then again, I mean, who are we to criticize other people's, lifestyle choices?
Well, we actually have a lot to say because we end up paying for it.
Okay, but then if we're paying for it, then it's we have to draw the line everywhere.
We have to decide where we're drawing the line as a country.
Right.
And there are a lot of lines to draw.
There's so many lines. I mean,
But let's start with the big line.
You painted a picture here. This is a doodle pad.
I got an anecdote for you. I had an emergency in college.
Okay.
Delve into the details.
Don't worry about it.
I ended up going to the hospital.
Okay.
And I didn't pay anything.
Not a dime.
Not a dime. My insurance got charged for $17,000. I was in that bed for 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. Ambulance is alive.
Ambulance is
IV drip. They're running tests like crazy. It's I was only there for 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
And I was, So obviously it was serious. I had to go to the hospital. But $17,000 for one patient, one bed for a few hours. It's out of control. And when I went back, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, this is insane. Like, I wanted answers. So I'm knocking on the door. I'm like, who can I talk to about this bill? And I had to talk to 3 or 4 people. And by the end, they were like, oh yeah, if you didn't have insurance, we wouldn't have charged you that much. And I think that's like a scandal. It's like outrageous. The fact that you're going to charge different people different prices. Like, what if I go to the gas station and they're like, oh, you're driving an Audi, so we're going to charge you like 3 times what we charge the, little blue Toyota or whatever. You feel me? Like, so that, I think that's disgraceful. And that really has to be addressed. But emergencies should just be covered, in my opinion.
Across the board.
We as a society should figure out, do what we have to do. If we have to raise taxes, we gotta raise taxes. Like, obviously there are other things we can do to make healthcare cheaper, but emergencies should be covered. And
I
shouldn't
agree.
be like milking insurance because
Well, the whole insurance market that's been created from this is problematic too. I mean, in some ways, it's pro, the capitalist spirit, but in other ways, they're just, they're just finding ways to get money out of people and
milking it.
they're just milking it in the worst possible ways.
And at the end of the day, like,
the worst
insurance
possible.
companies, they're really just middlemen.
Yeah, it's all middlemen. There can be way more. I mean, all of these startups is all direct to consumer. That's the whole point. But that's what a lot of people, Oscar, that's the startup
that's the
Amazon
model.
bought. And yeah, I mean, well, they're trying to cut out these middlemen.
As they probably should.
But they do still have insurance because it's just, it's obviously it's grandfathered part of the system, so it's coming in with it.
It's just so deep in the culture now. It's like,
There's insurance on everything. Insurance.
You
Everything's
almost
insured.
you almost couldn't, like, try to do it yourself. Because it was just like everyone assumes you have insurance. I went to the oral surgeon and I asked him how much the procedure was. He was like trying to take out my wisdom teeth, which, whatever. And
I know.
that's a separate analysis. But yeah, I was like, how much does this cost? He's like, I don't know, but insurance covers it. And I was like, that matters. Like, people are so removed from the price tag.
Yeah, oh yeah. No.
It's like creates this just bloating effect.
Yeah, it's like being taken out to dinner. Someone else is footing the tab. I'll have another cocktail.
Said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we need to be involved. There needs to be we gotta have some skin in the game, right? Some kind of reason to care.
Yeah, we have very little leverage though. Very little leverage. It's mostly out of the average American's hands. I mean, besides voting, and, everyone can.
But it's so indirect.
Yeah, it's very indirect.
So that's a huge problem. Here's something else I found
Hefty
out.
sneeze.
57% of drugs come from America. So
Prescription drugs.
Yeah, like they're created here. So most of the research and
market.
development is here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
R&D is huge.
We're only maybe 5% of the population of the world, but we're creating over half the drugs. And I think we end up paying for that because the patents for these drugs apply here and not so much in other countries. So like,
And we're paying for it in other ways. I mean, look at the opioid crisis. I mean, look at how many Americans are hooked on pills. It's pills for everything. It's a pill. It's a pill culture. Pop a pill. Pop a pill. Pop a pill. Pop a pill. Pop a pill.
don't worry about your diet.
Just pop a pill.
Don't worry about your exercise.
No.
Pop the pill.
It's all. I mean, of course there are outliers. There's genetic things. There's disease is a real thing, but
Oh yeah, of course. But that's another thing. Like,
it's out of control.
should we charge?
Over prescription, everything.
What about this? Should we like cover people who are healthier, like a larger percentage of their bill? If you're like, I don't know, if you just have a really healthy lifestyle, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you exercise a lot,
Good diet.
yeah, keep it light, keep it
So what do
clean.
and what do you do with that?
Should we reward them because they're helping the system?
I know, but then you perpetuate it. Then so we'll reward them by what? Tax them less?
No,
What's the reward?
Cover more of their
Yeah, but
procedures or
they're
whatever.
not. They're
As
not
opposed
the
to
people who
are
need.
pounding drinks. Like,
I know, but the healthy people aren't the ones who need the coverage. That's
No, but they should be 100% covered, and then
I know. So if something happens, sure, I'm there for you. But that's not. They're not really the idea is that the health person's not going to have the emergency, triple bypass because they're not eating pastrami every day. they might have the emergency appendectomy, sure, but like we agree that most people should be covered for that because that's not really necessarily a lifestyle thing. That just happens.
No, but that's okay if it's like
a normal thing.
if it's just a
wisdom teeth, appendix,
whatever. Like you need it out. It's
of course,
okay.
that's all normal stuff.
But if your lungs are rotted from 40 years of smoking, like,
so what do you
see covered at all?
So what is the person? Well, then what is the person supposed to do once they don't have the money to pay? I mean, survival of the fittest says they die, but a person with a good heart says that's cruel. So how do you know? How do you balance that?
The problem is like.
I mean, I want
the fact if we're covering them, somebody like there's only so much pie to go around. And that's an issue. Like, there's only so much money. Yeah, they're taking pie for themselves.
Someone who's more righteous doesn't get that lung charge.
Yeah, some like preemie who was,
I know, but it seems impossible to play with those kinds of possibilities. I mean, you can't possibly. You can't build a system that will be able to fully encapsulate all the possibilities of people's choices because people act erratically. They do. He was healthy for 30 years. Suddenly, his girlfriend breaks up with him and starts doing drugs.
That's another thing. Mental health. How many of these things are like if we just got it, sound mind, sound body? How many of these things can be solved with just a sound mind, right? Like. People who are depressed, how are they going to be able to take care of their body and
yoga?
These things are all related, and there's almost no mental health coverage. It's really bad.
The latest is that we have a mental health crisis. And you hear everybody talking about their anxiety and their depression. It's like almost become trendy. It's out of control almost. It's almost like people are a little like they just want to say it. I mean, I'm not saying people aren't depressed or they're not. They're not like those things are real. But the way it's being thrown around, it seems almost too casual these days. Like, yes, people should be open about it. That's part of addressing it and moving forward and working on it. But
getting past the stigma.
Yeah, getting past the stigma, 100%. But
do you think it's being like overused or whatever, like, or not?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of, I don't know. This happens where people just like say it. It's like, oh, that's like a thing people say. Like, oh, I'll say it too. Like, oh, I was nervous about this one thing, so suddenly I have anxiety. Like, no.